Our top story today, 5 of the 6 people on board a helicopter that crashed in the water in New York City have died. Witnesses report seeing the propellers stop mid-air before the chopper just dropped. CBS's Hinadoba is in New York, where investigators are still trying to figure out how this happened.
This is cell phone video showing the moment the helicopter, being used for a photo shoot, crashed into New York City's East River. Police say 2 people were pronounced dead at the scene. 3 others were taken to the hospital in critical condition, later died. A 6th person, the pilot, is the sole survivor. Rescuers say he managed to free himself and was picked up by a tugboat.
Someone climbed out of the helicopter and then was on top of the yellow raft, screaming help and waving his arms like this.
Zerly Motel, mayday, mayday, mayday. East River, engine failure.
You can hear the pilot on the distress call saying mayday. A few seconds later, he uses the words engine failure.
I saw the propellers kind of stop, but it looked almost like it was supposed to land for a second, like it was making an emergency water landing, but within literally a minute, it was completely submerged.
Firefighters say the chopper went down in 50 feet of water in frigid temperatures, contributing to a very challenging rescue.
One of the most difficult parts of the operation, we're told, is the 5 people besides the pilot were all tightly harnessed. So these harnesses had to be cut and removed in order to get these folks off of this helicopter, which was upside down at the time and completely submerged.
The National Transportation Safety Board is heading up the investigation to determine what exactly caused the crash. Hinadoba, CBS News.
The aircraft was owned by Liberty Helicopters. The company offers both private charters and sightseeing tours for tourists. In other news this morning, the White House unveiled new gun and school safety proposals Sunday night. They include a push to arm school faculty, improving background checks for those buying guns, and overhauling parts of the mental health system. Left out of the proposal, increasing the age restrictions on some gun purchases. The White House says that decision will be left to a new school safety task force headed up by Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. Investigators with the Montana Highway Patrol believe a crash on I90 that trapped an elderly Laurel couple and stopped traffic might have been caused by a semi-truck that moved into a lane too early. The patrol reported the semi-truck was attempting to pass a PT Cruiser around 9:20 a.m. Saturday near the Zoo Drive exit. The troopers said the semi moved into the driving lane, encroaching on the other driver. That's when the PT Cruiser became stuck under the trailer near the rear tires of the semi. The driver of the cruiser is still in the hospital with severe injuries. Former Vice President Joe Biden was in Helena this weekend as the keynote speaker at Montana Democrats' annual fundraiser, the Mansfield-Metcalf Dinner. Biden delivered a lengthy talk on how Democrats can repair the political fabric of America. Biden is seen as a possible challenger to President Trump in 2020, but he mentioned the president by name only once in his 55-minute speech. But that wasn't the case, however, with Montana Governor Steve Bullock, who has also been mentioned as a possible presidential candidate in 2020. Bullock took dead aim at the president Saturday, listing off what he called an almost daily helping of scandals and embarrassments engulfing the president. On the other side of the aisle, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark spoke in Billings on Friday night during the Lincoln Reagan Day dinner. He spoke on a variety of topics, praising those running for public office, recognizing veterans and law enforcement, and his support for the Trump administration. He said career bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. are thwarting President Trump's vision for the economy, tax cuts, immigration, and infrastructure. Clark retired as sheriff in August of last year. In September, he became a senior advisor and spokesman for America First Action, a super PAC supporting the Trump administration. In other news, casting crews are traveling through Montana, finding people to participate in the production of an independent film about one of the most infamous criminals in state history, Theodore John Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber. Kaczynski was responsible for the deaths of 3 people and injured more than 20 before he was apprehended on April 3, 1996. The FBI found him in his cabin in Lincoln, Montana. Since then, many have made movies about Kaczynski, but now producers are preparing to make one using a cast and crew made up of mostly Montanans. The film's producer is a Helena native, and he plans to film scenes on the actual property where Kaczynski lived. He hopes to fill 40 roles with the next casting call this evening in Lincoln. Switching gears, you've heard the term shop till you drop. Well, now it's taking on a whole new meaning. A new survey finds millions of Americans are shopping while drinking. As CBS's Meg Oliver tells us, it's leading to some interesting decisions.
Have a couple of drinks and then hop on the internet. What could possibly go wrong?
It seemed like a good idea at the time, I guess.
Nick Stuckey admits he was tipsy when he bought these googly eyes for his car, posting on Reddit, "The best drunk online purchase I have made yet."
It's one of those things where like it comes in the mail and you're like, I don't quite remember what I ordered. And yeah, then it hits you and everything.
In a new survey from Finder.com, 68 million people admitted to drunk shopping, racking up about $447 per person, double the amount from the previous year.
We do spend a lot of money while we're drunk. The problem is actually totaling over $30 billion.
$30 billion.
$30 billion.
On spontaneous purchases.
Exactly.
Food is the top purchase, followed by shoes and clothes. But social media is filled with questionable drinking decisions, like this person who accidentally bought 100 top hats for her pet toad. Ian Stratford admits being under the influence when he bought a t-shirt of a sloth. And this man proudly posted the hot pink outfit he ordered after a few rounds.
It's easier to buy after you've had a few drinks?
Yeah, definitely.
The study found men like Adam Laino are more likely than women to do it.
You're in a good mood and it may seem like you need this at the moment, and then you're like, oh, next day you're like, I really don't really need it.
Making those heated s'more slippers and inflatable adult T-Rex costume part of an expensive hangover. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
The survey also found millennials are the most likely to shop while under the influence. And before we take a break, here's a look at the latest edition of Under the Big Sky.
Under the Big Sky is sponsored by Edmiston and Colton and Rocky Mountain Vein Clinic.
The thing about where we get to record and capture all these artists is that it's in a cold storage facility. It was the first cold storage for Bozeman. I think it's 1905. Everything that came off the railroad went right into the storage units in there.
In our business, we call it has good bones. There's a lot of thickness in the walls, the doors, stuff like that. A lot of times when you're building a studio, you have to fortify everything. This came fortified times 10.
It creates even more of an experience for people that are coming to the shows. One of my favorite things is to have somebody from out of town, they roll up in front of the studio and they say, "This is where Live from Divide happens." I say, "Yeah," and they say, "Can we look around?" I say, "Yeah," so I grab them and bring them into the room, and it's just like, they're completely shocked and, in some cases underwhelmed. They're like, "This is it?" Sounds so much bigger on radio, and that's cool.
The magic, in my opinion, is the fact that we're a small venue. We only have 50 seats. It's first come, first serve. Nothing beats being 2 feet away from your favorite artist, and the artist being 2 feet away from the fans.
If we expanded into a larger room, at some point, you would lose the element of why it works in that building. That's another thing that's special about what we're up to.